Hi everyone! In today's video, we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is motivation. And I know when I was younger, I didn't consciously think about motivation. I don't think I even dwelled into why I took certain actions and why I didn't take others. But it's interesting that it's a topic that's come up a lot recently in some of our workshops. And I thought, why not take a bit of a deeper dive into figuring out what drives us? What makes us do certain things? And so today we're going to talk about two types of motivation. And before we get started, I want to call out that I don't really believe that one type of the motivation is better than the other. I like to kind of think of them as being on part of a spectrum. And the point of our conversation today is to just really get you to sort of look inside and notice where your motivation is coming from within these two things. So, the first type of motivation is extrinsic motivation. And I like to think of extrinsic motivation as external motivation. So, it's really where you're motivated by things outside of you. It could be tangible things like money, getting a new job, getting good grades, or it could be intangible things like feeling socially connected, feeling a sense of belonging and acceptance and approval. On the other end of the spectrum is intrinsic motivation. And I like to think of intrinsic motivation as the inner motivation. It's that inner why. And I think it's connected very deeply to purpose, to why we do the things we do. And intrinsic motivation is driven just by our internal desires and our internal needs for satisfaction. And the thing that's cool about both of these is that they both serve an important purpose. There are times where you do need those extrinsic external things, where you're working hard to get recognized at your job. And then there's times where you need that sense of intrinsic motivation, which is the inner drive around, well, you want to do well at your job because you want to make a big impact in the world. And so I just thought it was kind of cool to distinguish both of those things so that we can just think about where are our motivations coming from. And it's important that we have both of those motivations, both the intrinsic and the extrinsic. So I'm just curious, if you think about what drives you, what are your motivations?